welcome to the Pewtercast. This is the InstantCast for Week 4, where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers took on the Arizona Cardinals. The Denver Broncos. Wait, what? Oh, hey, Bucs fans. It's your host, Brent Allen here. Did that game look familiar to you guys? Did it? Because it sure did to me. At least it felt familiar. Man, I know the score was different, but man, it just looked like the same game that we saw against the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, the score wasn't nearly as lopsided, but everything else felt that way. I mean, good night. The Denver Broncos had our number all night long. All night long. Even after the rain delay. You know, last week we came out of a rain delay, and we actually did pretty good right up until that last little bit. Not tonight. Not tonight at all. You know, I know a lot of you out there, I can hear you now. A lot of you are going, oh, what about the culture change? I've not looked on social media yet. I'm sure it's out there, though. Roy Cummings, he posted something. I told him, don't be an ass. Culture change doesn't happen in a week. It's a long process. Long process, people. Culture change is a long process. The Bucs have to get to an I can't stand it anymore moment. I don't know if they're there yet. I really don't. Some people are just used to this, and so they just accept it. But they've got to get to an I can't stand it anymore moment. But hey, listen, talking about culture change, that's a future thing. Let's just focus on the present. Okay, this is about this game. Let's focus on this game. And I'll say this, guys, for the first time this season, and this is me talking. For the first time this season, I thought they looked truly awful. I mean, horrible. Like, even in Arizona with a 40-7 final score, I don't think they looked as bad as they did today. I don't think they got as embarrassed as they did today. I don't think they got as outplayed as they did today. I don't think they got as outcoached as they did today. I don't think they got as outfanned as they did today. There was so much orange in those stands, y'all. I don't know what the hell is going on with y'all down in Tampa. I might need to just start driving my happy butt 8.5 hours every Sunday that we have a home game and fill in some of those empty seats. And I got a big butt. I could probably fill up a couple of them just up by myself. There's so much. Or somebody tweeted me today, said, I'm assuming he was a younger fella. He said that my dad won't take me until the Bucs start putting a better product on the field. And you know what? It's fair. That's fair. I get it. But I mean, oh my word. Like, even last week, it was the home opener and the seats just looked empty. Yeah, I'll tell you, if the Bucs don't start selling seats, they might not have any money to pay these multi-million-dollar contracts. I was thinking that during this game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know where they get their money. I know the Glazers got a crap ton of money. I know a $100 million contract to Gerald McCoy over a bunch of years isn't. I mean, that's a lot of money. I don't care who you are, how much money you have, but that's not going to make them blink a whole lot. But still, the business has to pay for itself somehow. And I don't know. It's the stink continues to exude from Raymond James Stadium. I mean, what was it? Somebody, I think they said on the broadcast, they're 3-18 in their last home games. They're 3-4-18. 3-15, actually, I guess is how the record would be stated. But they're 3-18 out of their last 18 home games. Yeesh, that's not good. That's not good. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's dive into it. Just some thoughts coming out of this game that we have. These are unedited thoughts. Okay, if you guys don't know how an InstantCast works, basically I get in here to the recording equipment just as soon as I can when the Bucs game goes off, and sometimes it's right away. Like right now, I'm in here. The game just went off. My wife had me do one little chore for her, and now I'm in here. So this is fresh. This is fresh. Sometimes I have to wait till I drive home. Sometimes I got to wait till whatever. But tonight you're getting it right off the game. Okay, and that's what an InstantCast is. I've not watched any press conferences. I've not jumped on social media to see what other people are saying. I don't know what the stats are. I don't know what the box scores are. I don't know any of that stuff. All right, these are just my things. So let's jump in. Talking about offense, I always start where I always start on offense, which is with Jameis. And here's the thing. Jameis, he was just off. A couple games in a row now, he was off. Now, okay, to start the game, I thought he got off to his typical slow start. That first drive, he throws that interception to Aqib Talib. Aqib Talib? I don't even know how you say his name. Talib. Throws that interception to Talib. Talib just had it. I mean, just watched him. Had a number. I don't know another phrase to say. He you know what he looked like? You remember last week when Quan intercepted dude from that team that we played last week, Case Keenum from the Rams? That's what Talib did to us tonight. And then Jameis came out, after that they got the ball, of course they went and they scored. And we turned around and came back out, and I thought Jameis did some good stuff in that first quarter. He got the touchdown scramble. Yeah, and I mean that's what I was talking about last week. That's the way we should have ended that game last week. Little scramble into the end zone. Jameis, good job. Maybe you listen to the podcast. Listen to the kind of letter that I wrote you. If you guys, by the way, I apologize for not getting episode 13, the full episode about the Rams out earlier last week. Just had some stuff bamboozled with family, and then had to get on the road, and it was kind of that perfect storm, sort of like what happened today. Sort of like what happened today with the Bucs team. Perfect storm. So yeah, Jameis, that's kind of that first quarter. And then after the first quarter, he just couldn't stay away from defenders. I mean, the offensive line, the tight ends, the blockers coming out of the backfield, none of them could keep him upright. And he was just off. He was tired. I don't think I've ever seen Jameis Winston look as frustrated as he did tonight. He just wasn't his calm, cool self that we normally see from Jameis Winston. And that's all I can say about him. He couldn't stay away from the defenders. That was the story for 3 quarters of this game. It was Jameis running away from defenders. First quarter, aside from that opening interception to Talib, first quarter was okay. Rest of the game, not. All right, the running game. Here's if I could plead with Cutter. Oh my gosh, can I plead with Cutter? Stop trying to pretend like Charles Sims is Doug Martin, because he's not. He's not. You keep trying to run him like you run Martin. I know he's been elevated. I know he's now the feature back. You keep trying to run him between the tackles. You try to keep running to put him in situations where he's got to bust a whole bunch of tackles and break through and trot off down the field. And that's not what Charles Sims does. Charles Sims runs out, he gets a little screen pass, he gets a little toss out of the backfield, and then he turns up and runs. And then he can turn up and miss some tackles, and then he can turn up and make people miss. Play Sims like you play Sims. Stop trying to play him like you play Doug Martin. You know who you have that you can play like Doug Martin even if Doug Martin is injured? Jacquizz Rodgers. That other guy. Bring him in and run him like you run Martin. He does pretty good kind of getting through those tackles sometimes. I mean, he's not Doug Martin, and so for a reason, when Doug Martin comes back, he's going to get in his spot again. But he can still do it. Stop trying to do that with Charles Sims. Stop it. How about the passing game? What passing game? I mean, my God, what did we complete today? 5 passes the whole game? I don't know. I don't have this. I don't have the sheets right in front of me. Okay, here's what I know from the game. Mike Evans, I thought, was consistent all night. Whatever maturity has happened to him in this last offseason, I kind of joked around saying this because he got married. That'll cool you out real quick. But Mike Evans was our most consistent player of this entire game. If we could give a game ball even after a loss like that, it'd go to Mike Evans for me tonight. Thought Cameron Brake came up on a few good plays. That was great to see him. Hell, even Vincent Jackson came out on a few plays and didn't look as I don't know what the word is, didn't look as transparent as he has in the first 3 games. At the end of that Rams game, I was just going, stop throwing to V-Jax. Stop throwing to him. Can't catch the damn ball. Stop throwing to him. Well, he didn't do that bad today. He had a couple good catches. I don't know how many times we threw to him. What, maybe 3, 4, 5 times? There's at least twice that I can remember he caught the ball pretty well. So, okay, fine. Maybe we had 10 completed passes all night. I don't know. But what passing game? Again, Jameis didn't have time to pass. Jameis was running away from defenders all night, and when he was passing, he was usually throwing it away to avoid a sack. I don't know how many sacks he took tonight. Or it felt like it was at least 5, maybe 6. Maybe 6. You want to know why it was 6? Because he the last 3 plays of the game that he was on the field, he took 3 sacks in a row. That's how the game ended. Took 3 sacks in a row, and that's how the game ended for us. Offensive line, what the hell? Your work tonight, or lack thereof, was displayed very clearly for all of us to see on Jameis's jersey in the form of dirt and grass and mud. Probably a little bit of blood in there, too. I don't know what was going on. And I'm sure I can hear Jameis at the podium right now going, man, my offensive line, man, they're awesome. They played their butts off. Yeah, well, not tonight. Listen, offensive line, you guys, I commend you for your play through your first 3 games. I don't know if you were just way out of your league, if you were way outclassed in this game, if you were just tired. I don't know. I mean, Jameis he tried to help you out because he went into the locker room at halftime and came out with a brand new jersey. Fresh, sparkling clean, sparkling white jersey. By the end of the third quarter, it was just as dirty as it was when they went in halftime. Yeah, I don't know. How about defense? I got 3 words for you on defense. Injuries, injuries, injuries. Before the beginning of the season, we were all worried about the depth on the defensive line. Particularly in that tackle position. We had some pretty good ends, but particularly in that tackle position, we're all worried about it. And then Ayers goes out. Jacquez Smith goes out. Now Gerald McCoy is out. Now Noah Spence is out. Guys, our depth is gone. It's gone. It's gone. There is no more depth. It's gone. And you know what? It shows. It showed tonight. McCoy was out there. He was beasting. I mean, I loved watching Gerald McCoy tonight. Loved watching him until he got hurt. I mean, hell, even Will Golston around was starting to beast as well. And that's the mark of a good leader. That's the mark of somebody who elevates. Leaders lift, right? And that's a good leadership principle. Leaders lift. They lift other people around them. Not Jameis Winston. Gerald McCoy lifts the other guys around him. And then he goes out. And I don't know how much lifting he can do from the sidelines. I really don't. On a leadership level, I don't know what that really looks like. But I mean, after he left the game, yeah, there was a sack. I think we got 1 sack after that point. And sure, we hurt the other quarterback in the process, to the point that he came out of the game. So they put in their rookie. But it's okay. They didn't mind having the rookie in there. You know why? Because we couldn't get to him. We couldn't get to him. We couldn't put any pressure on him. On Simeon or Lynch. Either one of them. And then you look at them in the third quarter. Broncos come out, they get the ball, and they eat up 8 minutes of clock. They eat up an entire half of the quarter in one drive. Trotting it down the field. I mean, they took that ball and they took their sweet bippity time with it. They got it down there. Of course, they got it. They got a touchdown. And I tell you, the defensive line especially looked gassed. Absolutely worn out, especially Akima Spence. They showed him on TV, and he was sucking wind. Sucking wind. I mean, it's understandable, I suppose. There's no bench anymore, right? They can't sub them out. They can't rotate them out. Our bench is gone. It's gone. I think I said that once, right? It's gone. There is no more depth on defensive line. What we have is what we have, and they got to play the whole dang game. That's hard. That's a tall order. Maybe I shouldn't give them too much flack because that's a hard thing to do. I don't know where Quan was today. Quan seemed like he was missing most of the game. I think every time I saw him, he was just standing upright, not inside the dog pile. Not inside the tackle pile. I'll be interested to see what his numbers are a little bit later. Levante was around. Levante was out there mixing it up. Heck yeah. Hargraves was good in doing his job. Hargraves looked stout. And it's like they figured it out, and so they just threw it to the other side to Grimes the rest of the night. No, they didn't throw it to Grimes. They threw it to whoever was on Grimes' side of the ball. Threw it over there. Grimes couldn't keep up. Couldn't keep, I mean, he was always there, but he was out of step. And once again, a ball hits Grimes in the hands, and he drops it. At least I think that's what happened. I don't know. I can't remember. Did that happen? Somebody tweet me and let me know if I'm right, if Grimes missed another interception. Because I'm going to tell you what about Brent Grimes right now. Now, listen, much love and respect to my fellow Brent. We got a little club out there. You know what I'm saying? And Brent's got to stick together. We sure do. But Mr. Grimes, I am not going to be happy with you till you get an interception. I don't care what you do. Until I see you get an interception, you're in my poop pile. You're on my shit list. Defense couldn't get off the field. Couldn't get off the field tonight, y'all, and that's why they're so tired. You know, and it's one of those. It's a vicious circle. Defense is tired, so they can't do anything, and so they can't get off the field. So they stay on the field and they keep playing, and they just keep getting more tired, and they get worn out, and so they can't do anything, and so they can't get off the field. And even when they were off the field, the offense couldn't get out there and get anything going anyway. Couldn't help them out. Special teams, nothing to speak of. They didn't lose the game. There was no big plays to help either, but they didn't lose the game. There's just nothing there. I mean, you know, Anger came out punting the ball. Woo! Aguayo didn't miss a kick today. He only had one. An extra point. Yeah, he made it. Hashtag I'm with 19. Guys, I don't know if you can tell. I'm frustrated with this team. There is no ifs, ands, or buts around it. And maybe I shouldn't be. Because, you know, everybody went into this game going, you know, Broncos are hot. Broncos coming in 3-0. Broncos got a nasty defense. They're Super Bowl defending champions. Broncos are going to beat the Bucs. Yeah, okay. But you know what? I'm still frustrated. You know, there was so much promise at the beginning of this year. And this year is starting to look like all the others. You know, at least, and here's the thing. This is part of what the InstantCast is. I don't have a cool head right now. That's my gut feeling as I come out of this game is, man, this is just starting to look like all the other years. And I know you guys are feeling it too. But listen, I can't go out there and I can't talk to you in the main show and kind of let cooler heads prevail and actually give some perspective on the game unless I at least get to come out here in an InstantCast and be real with you about how I'm feeling right now. I'll tell you this. We cannot blame this game on interceptions and fumbles at this point. No, we can't. Now, those didn't help. Okay, and those certainly hurt. We can't blame it on that, though. The offense just didn't stay on the field to put the ball in the end zone. They couldn't stay on the field, and they couldn't put the ball in the end zone except for that one time. The points that, if you take the points that we lost on the interceptions and fumbles and take those off the board, we still lose this game. We lose this game, 10-7? But it doesn't matter. The offense didn't do their job. This was not a game you can't blame it on the interception and fumbles. They were just a part of it. I'll tell you this too, you can't blame this game wholly on the defense either. Defense looked horrid. They just didn't do what they needed to do to get off the field. But at the same time, I can. It's the only saving grace I can give them is I can understand because they were just so daggum tired and they were depleted in men that they didn't have the people to rotate in and out. They didn't have their fire starters out there able to do what they had to do. They were just so daggum tired from being out on the dang field. And this is actually where I guess those interceptions and fumbles do count because that's putting the defense back on the field sooner than they should have been. And that's where those 3 sacks at the end came from. Yeah, it wasn't just the defense that was tired. At that point, the offensive line was tired. They wanted to get out of that game. And my God, they sacked Jameis 3 times. Let me ask you a question. Where are the people who are, maybe it's out there on Twitter, I don't know, but they didn't say it on the broadcast, so maybe nobody else got up in arms about it. But was anybody yelling about, why is Jameis still in? You know, they go in for the rain delay, they come out, why is Jameis still in? You know, I mean, the game was lost. There was not enough time to get the ball back, get up and do what we needed to do to get points back on the board. The game was done. So is anybody out there screaming about why is Jameis still in? Because remember, everybody did that in Arizona. Why is he still in? Why is he still in? Why don't risk injury to our star quarterback. Game ended with 3 sacks with Jameis on a row, and that's how the game got capped off. And you know what? That right there just felt like a big old punch in the nutsack. Right there, both cojones, 2 knuckles, just on the bright side. Let's look at it. I'll give you the bright side. This is I will bring this up. I think I've brought this up a few times already in different shows. I'll bring this up again in the main show. So we end the first quarter of the season 1-3. The first quarter of the season 1-3, and that's what we did last year. And guys, I'll tell you this, seasons, like games, neither are won or lost in the first quarter. Games and seasons are won and lost in the fourth quarter. You know, last year we went 1-3 in the first quarter. We're doing it again this year. And then we went 2-2 in the second quarter. Then we went 3-1 in the third quarter. And just as we were on the precipice of that last quarter of the season last year, that last 4 games, people were saying, you know, the Bucs could still make the playoffs. Well, look at the Bucs could make, and it, you know, especially if they run the table here, if they win these next 4 games, and we think they might, we think they really could do it. We think they will. They'll be in the playoffs. Now we lost those last 4 games, so I don't want to repeat last year. Okay, don't misread me here. Okay, but what I'm saying is the season's not over. Season is not over. The first quarter ends 1-3. Next week, we start a brand new quarter of our season. We start a brand new quarter of our season on a Monday night game in Carolina where their star quarterback, Cam Newton, is going to be in concussion protocol, which means Derek Anderson's going to be in. And I know, I'm pretty sure he's beat us once or twice. I'm pretty sure he has. That game is not in the bag, but it's a whole lot easier with Cam Newton not on the field. And then we have a bye week. And hopefully we get Ayers back and Martin back and Luke Stalker comes back. Hopefully McCoy and Spence aren't going to be out too much longer. Hopefully they're not out next week at all. Gosh, next week's going to be a super tough game. I don't care if Cam Newton's there or not. If McCoy and Noah Spence and Brandon Myers and Luke Stalker and Robert Ayers and Doug Martin and Jacquez Smith, who's already on IR, so we know he's not going to be back at all. If those guys are all gone, this is going to be a rough game. But we could win Carolina. A lot of people are saying we'll beat the 49ers. I don't know. Right now, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. See where they come back off the bye. That could be good. That could be good. And who do we have? We have the Raiders, I think, after that, and I forget who comes in. Is it Atlanta again? I think, maybe. I don't know. We could go 2-2 in the next quarter. That'd put us, 3-8 on the season? Does that sound about right? No, that'd put us 3-5 on the season. Sorry. That 8 is the total number of games we have played. Put us 3-5 on the season. So, I don't know, guys. We could get there. Season is not over yet. Okay, let's not get there. That's the one thing that I can say. Look. Cooling heads are already starting to prevail. Just 20 some odd minutes into this InstantCast. And speaking of that, that's going to do it for the InstantCast. It's going to wrap it up. Guys, be on the lookout for the main show that's coming up this week. In the meantime, drop me a line. Let me know your thoughts of the game. I might just read them on the main show. You can do that over at thepewtercast@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter or Facebook @thepewtercast. Yeah, that's really how you can get in touch with me. I'm pretty responsive. You guys can talk to me. Hey, by the way, be on the lookout Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock over on Facebook, facebook.com/thepewtercast. I am going to do my Buccaneer fantasy recommendation. So if you've got a Bucs player on your fantasy roster, you want to check in there, I'll give you my recommendations for what to do with the Bucs players. So guys, until next time, until the main show, go Bucs.